What is going on, guys? Welcome back for part 2 of the cube rebuild from the ground up. Just real quick before I get into that, guys, check this out. So here's the view in this room yet. Now I gotta tell you, I'm sorry, it's a little cluttered. There are some things that I haven't picked up yet because I just want to clean everything all at the same time when I finish, messing around with this cube. But check out this view, guys. So big boy tanks back here. We turn, there's our cube, leads into my kitchen. There's our 112, there's our rack. So check that out, guys. It's almost like I have my own personal aquarium right now. Anyways, enough about that. Let's get into what this video is about today. So we've been up and running for a couple days now. Cleared up pretty well. If anybody is wondering what all of this brown stuff is here. So, no, it's not dirty. No, it's not dirt. So what is it? So what this is mung. And, well, where did it come from? So I cleaned one of my FX6 canister filters on the big boy tank the other day when I was doing my Saturday morning water change. And when I squeezed all my sponges and everything out into the tank water that I was utilizing to clean them, I decided in order to help kickstart the beneficial bacteria and my cycle and everything in this tank, that I was just going to go ahead and dump it in here. And albeit I know it's kind of like ugly beautiful right now, but that's okay because this tank is literally a natural process and a work in progress. As you can see, our driftwood is floating. I decided to not secure it as well as I probably could have. It almost made it. We got about 3/4 full and then it decided to float up. So some of these plants I haven't secured yet, and these plants are not exactly in their final place, mostly because I'm waiting to see what the driftwood does, and I do not want any of these plants to get crushed. Now, one other thing I will tell you guys though, I did go and get some fish for this tank yesterday, but I didn't put them in here yet, obviously, because it's not quite ready. It's not fully cycled yet. It's close. Maybe in a couple days we'll be able to start moving some people over. What is in here that is alive right now, we do got some of our cleanup crew. So we've got, I think it's a handful, so 5 different mystery snails, but that's okay. So we have our light. I love the shadow play with the driftwood floating, actually. I moved it over just a little bit so it didn't get completely blocked off by this big section of driftwood that's over here. If I had it centralized, you can kind of see where I started with it there, and then I decided to just move it over here for now. So what have we done since part 1? Well, let me turn this overhead track lighting on so you guys can see a little better. All right, there we go. So got all of our filtration pretty much set. Just got some polishing right in there. We got our Biomax. So I've decided, I think what I might end up doing, for now we're going to go with 1 filter sock and 1 tube is going into the filter sock. I think I'm going to add another one because this one was not very expensive. I think I paid about $8 for it on Amazon, and it came with that nice little acrylic piece to hold it in. So we're probably going to get another one of those. Our bulkhead, to fully set this, as you can see it's not fully set right now, is going to be here, I believe, tomorrow. And then hopefully I did that right and it fits, and then what I can do is get that all secured and bring the level up on this sump a little bit more, because I would like to do that. You see the mess of wires over here? I got to get that organized. That's going to happen real soon. Again, I'm just kind of trying to get everything together, and then it's going to be tidy up afterwards. But this is going pretty well so far. You see our nice bit of water flow. It's going over this driftwood right now. My U-bend came in the other day, And I'm sorry I didn't film this for you guys, but I've installed it since. As you can see, I've got 2 zip ties and a clamp on here, and then I got these nice little suction cups that I bought separately to keep it nice and straight, because there is quite a bit of pressure from this line because it hasn't quite relaxed yet. And then you can see the overflow lines over there and the water going through them. Probably a little overkill with what I've done, but that's okay, guys, because I'm going to tell you right now, there is zero margin for error in what I'm doing, because I live in an apartment. Now, albeit on ground floor, we have concrete floors. That's how I'm able to do these larger tanks. But I got to be very careful about everything I'm doing. I do not want to run into any issues. So everything gets overmade, overdone, with purpose, because we need this to be as immaculate as possible. Now, one other thing, why don't I go ahead and clip these real quick while I have you guys on camera. I don't know, I'm not a lefty, but we're gonna see how this goes. It should be okay. So let's go ahead and clip our chicken wire, or our zip ties, or chicken chokers, I guess you should say. See, this is not going to work very well. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got one. It's just a tough angle to get in there, and like I said, guys, I am not a left-handed guy. There we go. Okay, so we're all good there now. But as you can see, everything's kind of doing its job in here. The water was a little cloudy in some of the pictures I posted for leading into Sunday swim this week, mostly because it was day 2 of it being set up, and secondarily because, you know, like I said, I dumped all this mum in here to get this nice biological filtration moving really quickly. As you can see, these snails are doing just fine in here. I tested the water yesterday. We're just about ready. We're not quite there. We've got like 0.2 parts per million ammonia, 0.25, excuse me, parts per million ammonia. And we were just reading a little bit of nitrite still. We were reading about 5 to 10 parts per million nitrate. So I haven't tested it yet today. I have a very good suspicion, though, that if I were to test it today, that nitrite might be gone. Our pH is rocking around 7.4, so for South Central American cichlids, looking good there. And then yesterday I also got some fish for this tank. They're currently in the 40-gallon breeder. Why don't we go ahead and get into that for a second? So let me turn this lights on. So a few of these fish I got yesterday. One I got on Friday, and the other fish that I got is also up here. Let's talk about him first. So this guy is going to keep this tank nice and clean. This is a super red bristlenose Lacostomus. He's pretty darn young right now, so he's not quite as red as he's going to get, and he doesn't have all of his bristles because he is a bristlenose, but he'll get there. I like watching these fish grow up, so that's why I go with smaller fish at first. So what did we get? Well, if you could see right here, I said I was going to do a chocolate cichlid, and there he is. I assume he, probably a little young to tell at this point, but it's not quite as important as it is with the African cichlids, especially if I'm only doing basically just one of the different species. I also got my Starry Night, which is going to get really nice and dark, and his spots are going to get quite a bit whiter, and he'll get real big. Maybe one day, if he becomes mean, he'll go in with the haps and peacocks when they get upgraded, because this fish is from Madagascar, which is an island off the coast of Africa, for those of you guys that don't know. We have our Burmese banded archerfish. I can't wait to get him over to where we can see if we can kind of train him. I hear they're pretty easy to train. This is the first time I've owned an archerfish, but I hear they're pretty easy to train and teach them how to shoot at the targets and stuff like that. So that'll be really interesting and cool to do some feeding videos that way once we get it up and going. We also have a red-headed Tapajo Geophagus. He's kind of very shy right now. Very small guy, doesn't have his colors quite yet, but nonetheless a beautiful fish. And then who else is in here? So today I got this nice electric blue Acara. We have our queen Dario Bodialoch. And then we also, it's kind of hard because this one is going to be really hard for you guys to see, I think, because he's hiding. So if you look down here in this tube, you can see the stripes. So very unique fish. I said I was going to do a black ghost knife, but what I ended up doing was a knife fish that is actually native. There you go, see him turn around. That is actually native to South and Central America, specifically Peru. This is a banded tiger knife fish. It's going to get about the same inches as a ghost knife, so about 16 to 18 inches. This guy's also going to be pretty peaceful because he's what they call a false tiger. I believe he is, at least. So that means that he's going to be a little more peaceful than a true tiger, which is not going to get as big as a clown knife, but it would probably eat anything that fits in its mouth. Whereas this guy, peaceful, has a much smaller mouth, but really, really cool, really unique fish. Kind of hides a lot right now, which I'm okay with because these guys are in this 40-gallon breeder waiting for the cube to be ready. And I just kind of wanted him to have a space, especially right now in this smaller tank, to be away from the cichlids and prevent any nipping or anything like that. So that is going to be our initial stocking, guys. I think I'm going to get a fire reel pretty soon too. Almost got a tiger moray. I might do both. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. So that's what's going on right now. And then tomorrow, our LED lights for underneath our stand are going to be here. I also have my doors, which I will put back on. I just kind of left them off right now because it's more convenient while I'm messing around a lot underneath. And also just because, like, you know, I haven't ran this sump before. I've had it for a while. I got it from somebody, and I've been monitoring how this sump works and making sure that everything is going okay, don't have any accidents, any floods, anything like that, because we definitely don't want any of that, guys. Really cool shot of the driftwood right here. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if it just stayed floating like this. I kind of like this, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Maybe if it decides it wants to start to sink, maybe I'll do something to kind of help keep it suspended, because I think that's pretty darn cool, guys. The way that driftwood just kind of sits up there like that. And it's got its own, you know, funneling and kind of cave-ish like structures. And then we have, obviously, this big old flat piece here that fish can hide up under. And check this out. So in here, kind of hard to see. Let me turn the track light up for you guys. But in here, a lot of area for fish to swim around in. So maybe I'll just try and keep it suspended. Who knows, guys? Let me know what you think in the comments below. So tomorrow, the LED lights for underneath the stand are getting here. We're going to install those. And then the bulkhead should be here too. And if everything's good there and I get everything moved around, I'll probably put the doors back on, and I'm going to film that as part of this video when I do that as well. Funny story, so I actually got lucky when I got this Aqua Sky. So this is a 36-inch 48 Fluwa Aqua Sky, and you know, depending on where you get it, this light is going to retail from anywhere from 100. This is the 27 watt version, mind you, for better reference. But this light is going to retail anywhere from like $110 to $150, depending on where you get it. So I decided to just pick one up from PetSmart the other day when we were there grabbing a few things for inside the filtration. One of those things was we got all of our BioFX. I use this in pretty much all of my filters. Stuff is phenomenal. If you've never used it before, I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Check that out. But anyways, back to this story about the light. So yesterday I went and purchased this light, and I got home and it didn't look like the box had been tampered with or anything. But when I opened the box, I like literally just pulled the light out, because usually on one end, because I have several of these Aqua Skies, so usually on one end there'll just be a partition kind of keeping the light from moving. So I took that off, then I pulled the light out, sat it up on top of the tank, and went to look for the power supply in the box, and albeit it wasn't there. So long story short, went back to the store, and amazingly enough, just because of the inconvenience of that, they gave me 30% off. So I ended up getting this light. I think originally I was going to pay 130 bucks for it. So they ended up giving me $48 back. So I paid less than $100 for this Aqua Sky. Right about $90, $85, $90 after the rebate for the inconvenience. So I mean, I was pretty mad at it at first, but after that, you know, not so much. But awesome thing, guys. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another installment in this part 2 of the cube rebuild from the ground up. So a couple things that we're going to do today. Going to do these in order. So first thing I got here is I got some LED strip lights to go under here to make this a lot easier to work on so I can see. We're going to put those on. And then I got that other filter sock that I was talking about. So both outlet lines are going to have a filter sock. These two will be really simple. Now, let's get into the other portion that I'm just not quite sure about right now. So, as you can see, there is a drastic difference in the size of these bulkheads. So I feel like an idiot a little bit. So what I did, guys, was I didn't read enough in the description. I just saw 1 1/4 and went, oh, that's great. And this is what I ended up with the first time. Had I read a little more, I would have realized that what I actually purchased was for 1 1/4 inside diameter PVC pipe. So these are massive. Likely gonna have to return those. If anybody has any plumbing though that is near me in the DMV area that thinks they could use these, or I mean if you're not in the DMV area and you think you could use these, I will send them to you. You don't have to pay me. All I ask is that you pay whatever the shipping costs. Let me know in the comments below. These ones, they look like they're going to be too narrow for my line, so I think I made another mistake, but they came with caps, and I think they're going to hit the hole, fill the hole in the sump, and then I'll just run the line out the top. And that's good enough for me for now. And then maybe I'll get a different bulkhead later. We're going to see. So a little trial and error here with the bulkheads when we get to that stage. First thing I'm going to do though, I'm going to go ahead and get those LED strip lights put on. One other thing that I must tell you guys, I think we're really close to being able to put our first few fish that you saw revealed in the live stream yesterday into this tank. If you didn't see that yet, go check out the live stream from Sunday Swim from yesterday. Or I mean from this past weekend, I guess, because it won't be yesterday by the time you guys see this video, more than likely. But we're getting really close, guys. Really, really close. So yesterday, on Sunday, I did a water test. And the results are a little skewed right now. But basically, we have, it's probably going to be really hard to see, but we have about 5 parts per million nitrate. So we're reading nitrate. Our ammonia is at, that's not the ammonia one, excuse me. Our ammonia, which is going to be really hard to see against this backlighting, it's a little bit high for my liking. It's like 0.25 parts per million, maybe a tiny bit less. And then our pH is hovering around 7.4. This test got a little skewed from sitting overnight. I should have filmed that portion for you. But we're going to do another water test today, I think. hopefully maybe tomorrow we'll be able to put fish in. And our nitrite, the most important part, is 0. So that's good. The reason I say nitrite, the most important part, if your ammonia is getting close to 0, you're reading nitrates, and your nitrite is 0, you know that your cycle is pretty much complete. Give it a couple more days after that, retest it, that's what I'm doing. But nothing will kill your fish faster than any of those things than reading any type of nitrites, or if you have a giant pH swing, which not likely. My water table is pretty stable here from the water that I do my water changes with. And honestly, it would have to take a really outside lying factor there'd be a really outlying factor if I was going to have a massive pH shift just from doing a water change. Also, guys, I think if this bulkhead fits on here and everything goes well with these parts of the installation, I can wrap up those wires now and get them the way that I need them to have them situated and organized, and I can put my doors back on, hopefully. So we'll see. I've kind of just, like I said earlier, left the doors off for now. Makes it a lot easier for me to work on this. But we're going to go ahead and get those LED strip lights put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in, and you guys are going to see it almost instantaneously in about that much time. All right, just like that, we have light underneath. So I could have shown you me installing this. I didn't really think anybody cared to watch me crawl around and roll around underneath this stand. It is kind of tight under here. But now you can get a good look at the filtration that I have on this tank. So very, very adequate, as you can see. This is, I'd have to recalculate, but if I remember correctly, I calculated the total capacity once I'm able to get the sump up to here. Total capacity of this sump is about 35 gallons, if I remember correctly, 35 or 38, something like that. Obviously, it's not going to run at total capacity, though. Right now, I've probably got it running around, I don't know, maybe 20 gallons. But the goal is to at least get up to here. That's what we want to do. That's why I need that bulkhead, because the previous guy that owned this sump drilled a hole, and the bulkhead he had used, I guess, was not included. So back to these LED lights for a second, guys. So just to kind of explain, not bad for like 10 bucks from Amazon, right? So these LED lights came in this little box that you saw previously, and then just kind of comes on like this little film reel, and they have a backer, and then you basically just take the backer off and put it on. So these were 20 feet, not quite enough to fully wrap around the inside of the stand twice, about 1.5 times or so, but these are the remnants of the backer. So that is that. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this other filter socket in real fast. That'll be quick and easy. And then we're going to check and see if this bulkhead is going to work. This is going to take a little bit of finagling when I do that, but let's get that filter socket, and then I will talk about us getting the bulkhead put in place. So pretty easy to adjust this. Comes with this nice acrylic piece, and then there's just some plastic screws here, and you can open it all the way up here for your largers, or where I'm going to, because this sump is made out of, I think it's 1/8 acrylic. We're only going to open it about that wide, get it on there, get her tight. So let's go ahead and do that. Apologies in advance for any shots of gratuity that you guys might be experiencing from me right now. Joking. I don't know. Alright. So that's there. Alright, let's go ahead and take this one and move it over. That's right. One second, guys. I forgot I had a bio block tied to the other one with some zip tie to kind of hold it until I got my other socket. So let me go ahead and remove that right quick. Would this be easier if I turned the sump off? Probably. Am I going to do that? No. Why? I guess I'm a little stubborn. Call it what you want. Okay. Alright. Jeez. I don't know why the zip tie did not want to pop, so I just pulled it off. There we go. Just tighten these guys back up. And then we are done with that section. Maybe I'll zip tie these together. I don't know yet. We'll see. Let's just see if it decides to move or not first. I don't think it's going to move, so I'm probably not going to zip tie them together, but again, let's just see what happens for now. Put this bio brick back, and there we go. Voila. Alright, as you can see, this zip tie just did not want to go for some reason. Honestly, I think it's these pliers are kind of crap. But we made this work nonetheless. So no worries. Now we're going to do the difficult portion of things. So alright guys, I smell something kind of weird. Sorry, that's why I paused for a bit. I guess my neighbor might be burning their dinner. I don't know. But anywho, let's go ahead and break the siphon. So let me pick you guys up so you can get a better view of what's going on here. Alright. So turn this up. There we go. Now we got a good view of how well those LED lights are functioning for us. Alright, so here's the deal. So back here, we have our overflow. So because I haven't had this bulkhead in yet, and I'm not quite sure fully where the level of this sump is going to be once I put the bulkhead in, and obviously it's already about as high as it can go. I know it's going to go beyond this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break the siphon and leave the pump on just long enough so that I don't overflow this sump in the meantime. And then I got to take my original zip tie on the pump off the line and make sure that this fits, and then we're going to move it all around. So I'll see you guys back for that in a minute. Actually, you know what? I said I'll see you guys for a minute, but let me just try and take you through the process. I'm just going to hope I don't make a mess while I'm doing this. But you know what? All fun and games, good entertainment for you guys if that happens. Hopefully that doesn't happen though, because I don't want to have to clean up the mess. So let's just break the siphon for now. And there we go. Alright, so our siphon is officially broken. Alright, gonna remove those all the way so there's no chance that our siphon doesn't restart. Now what we're gonna do is let this drain a little bit just to make sure that anything else that's coming down doesn't fill up beyond, but it looks like this area is coming down, so we're just about set. I could probably turn this pump off now. In fact, I think I'm going to, just to see what happens, guys, because I think we're gonna be good. Let's see. Ooh, coming up quick, coming up quick, coming up quick. We're close, we're close. Is it gonna stop? Is it gonna stop? All right, let's turn this back on for a second. That's a little close for comfort for my liking. So basically I'm just going to push water back out the return a little bit and make sure I don't overflow this during the process of this. All right, let's see. Maybe not quite. Let's go a little bit more. Let's see how that does. Coming up, coming up, coming up. Nope, still rising. All right, I think what the issue is here is I didn't design this baffling in this sump. The person that I got it from designed it, but I'm pretty sure that, yeah, as you can see, this compartment is a little bit smaller than those other two compartments, so I need to get the water level a little bit lower just to make sure. I also got to be kind of quick about this because I don't want to kill whatever bacteria I have. I've probably got about 30 minutes to an hour, but with it being a newer bacterial colony, I just got to be careful about that. All right, we're almost dry. Let's see where this got us. Still coming up, still coming up. I can't believe it. I thought this was going to be enough, guys. It's coming up a lot slower now, though, so I think we're just about there. Maybe one more pull after this. It's close, guys. All right. Turn it back on real quick. Handy that I have this nice little controller here. Gotta be careful. I don't think I set the wear a little lower on purpose to start. That way I would not overflow the tank when I came back to do this process. As you can see, still got about an inch. All right. Let's see, guys. Still moving just a little bit. All right, hold on. I'm gonna repeat this process until it's ready. I think you guys get the idea. I'll be back with you in a second. Hey guys, so Idiocracy continues. All right, we got it to where we are. And I say idiocracy because I feel like a ding-dong. So I forgot I had not drilled here yet, so the water line cannot go above. So we are so full right now, guys. Oh my goodness. All right, I got to try and do this quick. So let's go ahead and try and do the swap. And bring it back around for y'all. Oh, wow. Alright. This is not easy to do and film at the same time, at least not for myself, because I'm still trying to work on doing these things while I'm filming for you guys. And I'm a one-man band. I'm filming, doing everything. So, I mean, good news is the water's super level. Doesn't look like anything shifted. I don't think that I ever had this cube this full before though, guys, so it's not really making me nervous, but I don't know. Let me see if I can go ahead and get these bulkheads apart and we'll see if they fit. There we go. Alright. Let me get a towel real quick. What are you doing, babe? Looks like Cat wants to join the video too. Towel. Shoot, shoot. Alright, let's get this pump out of here. And we're going to hopefully do this all pretty easy, pretty quick. I'm not quite sure. Kind of just suspended here. I don't know how I feel about this, you guys. Alright, there's one. That was much easier than I thought it would be, given the way that the last one went. But, living to learn, I guess. I say that. And then maybe this one's not going to be quite as easy as that was. Alright, this one doesn't want to come. We'll just pull this off. I really had this on here, so you're going to have to bear with me a second, guys. There. Okay, the pump is off. Let's go ahead and set it on this towel for a split second. Let's see. I don't think it will. Let's just see if this bulkhead is going to fit on here. Alright, see, so it's not going to. No, it's not. Alright, let's see if it fits our hole and maybe we can at least plug that. Otherwise, this whole thing was not for naught right now. And we'll have to just go back to the way we were for a time being. Let's find it. Trying to make sure I don't get any water out of the line, making a little mess that I already probably have, which really doesn't seem to be that much of a mess, but nonetheless. Alright. Moment of truth, guys. Does it fit in the hole? It looks like it's just barely too big. Wow. Maybe I can thread it into this. gonna change my plug. Not as prepared as I should have been for this, guys. I thought this was gonna be much easier. Check back with me in a minute on this. Alright, so I've discovered that the threading is just a little bit off, which is not gonna allow me to do it. That stinks, but I'm gonna have to probably just round that hole out a little bit. For the meantime, though, I think I came up with a solution. So I discovered that the plug side of the bulkhead obviously will fit through the hole and gets flush. It does have a little seal, but it doesn't go all the way to the outer rim. So I have this leftover underlayment. This is just poly rubber, and I think I'm going to create a gasket seal for that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then put that on for you, and we're going to see if that is going to work for the time being. Kind of a little bit rigged together, but it's what we got to do for now, because I didn't do all this work for nothing. So we'll see how that goes, guys. Check back in a bit. All right, I think my solution is going to work. We're going to restart our siphon, and then we're going to test that. In fact, I can probably test this by just letting it backflow and seeing what happens first. Why don't I just do that before I restart this siphon, guys? Probably going to be a little bit easier to control. That's right, I broke the siphon. Alright, we're going to do it the other way. Go ahead and start the siphon. I don't know what's going on with my brain today, guys. I'm a little scatterbrained. Sorry for that. I apologize. I'm sure it's humorous to you guys, though. I'm making myself look great and smart and intelligent, aren't I? But that's okay. Sometimes fish keeping like this is a little bit of trial and error. Not always going to get it the first time. For now, we're just going to let one go. And I'm just going to kind of let this go and see what happens. So let me grab you guys before that fills up. All right. I think, honestly, my water level might get a little lower in the process of this, but we're going to see what happens. Let me put this rag back here just in case. And then, obviously, we're going to move this line some as well. All right, moment of truth is about to happen, guys. So you see I took some of that poly, and I made a little gasket for it. I think this is going to work. I don't see any water yet, guys. And it looks like we're going to be good. Let me start this. Alright. Now we're restarted. Looks like that's going to be good. Doesn't appear that it's going to leak from this. We're just going to have to troubleshoot this a little more and see how this goes. Again, like I said, probably going to end up hollowing that hole a little bit more and actually getting this in here properly. But because there are internal threads, I feel confident that I don't have to worry about this blowing out or anything like that. I don't think it's going anywhere, guys. So let's get that other siphon restarted. And we're just going to keep going with this. We're going to put the doors back on next, I believe. What is going on, guys? Alright, so another addition here in this film. So we originally put water in on Thursday. As you can see, some of the mum is starting to go away. We tested last on Sunday morning and we were almost there in terms of our testing. I'll talk about that in a minute because we're going to do a water test today. It is now Tuesday, and if things are testing good, I'm probably going to do this to start. So what I'm going to do, I said that these silver dollars were finally going to move out of here. They've been my dithers in this tank forever. We'll see what that does to the hierarchy when they move out. I don't know. I don't think it's going to cause a lot of disruption, to be honest with you, but we'll see what happens there. So if this water tests good today, I'm going to move these guys over there. They're a little bit bigger. They're a little more established. Probably going to go a little better for them to go first as opposed to these other guys that are down here. If you didn't see the Sunday swim where I revealed these first inhabitants for the cube on the first batch of fish, so we have our Burmese archer fish, which is zooming around right there. We have our chocolate cichlid over there. We have our starry night. We have our electric blue acara. We have our Queen Dario loach that's under here. I wish she would come out so you could see her beautiful gold coloration and striping on that fish. And then he just went behind the rock, but let's see if I can get him. Of course, so we have our Geophagus red Tapaho. And then our last fish, if you didn't see it, he's hiding. I would expect that a lot until he grows. Kind of hard to see him, but that is our tiger knife fish down in there. So let's go ahead and do a water test, and I'm just gonna kind of walk you guys through this as we do this. So give me a second to get set up here. Don't worry about that. Nothing was harmed in the making of this video. Let's just pause it. Alright, so what you actually heard fall were these pieces of wood that I put here to kind of prop my phone up. I haven't gotten a stand for my phone yet. I probably should, but we're going to keep doing this, whatever works well. And as you hear, I am failing yet again, guys, but that's okay. I hope it's entertaining for you guys. There we go. Alright. So let's go ahead and do some water tests. So we got our 4 tubes here because we are going to test everything as we are doing a setup. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to test the pH. I know the pH is a little bit beyond 7. So just to make sure these tubes are nice and clear. I already rinsed them, but I don't want any contamination from my tap water. So I'm going to fill them up a couple times, kind of pour them out. And then I'm going to go ahead and get it to level. So as you can see here, we're a little overfilled. You want to go to this white line right here. Otherwise, the increments of your chemicals are not going to read properly. So let's go ahead and fix that on this one. Doesn't have to be 100% precise, but as close as possible. You see I have the meniscus is just slightly below, but that's okay. Shouldn't really affect our results. And let's go ahead and fill up the rest of our tubes before we go ahead and put any chems in. That way we can give them all a nice shake at the same time. Alright, that one's good. Guys, if you hear the wheezing in the background, I apologize. Our dog is 15 years old, and his trachea is starting to collapse, so hence the wheezing. Don't worry, he's being well taken care of. He's okay. This is just kind of a thing for him right now. Alright, so we got everything ready. Oh, if you would mind, please. Alright, so first thing we're going to do We're going to test our pH. I'm going to use the high range because, like I said, it's reading over 7, and I can get a better gauge with the high range when it's over 7. Let me go ahead and turn a light on for you guys. The reason I say I can get a better gauge when it's over 7 with the high range is because I can see 7.2, 7.4 with this. If I do the low range, it literally just jumps. I'll show you. It jumps from 7.2 to 7.6. So I can get a little bit more accurate reading if it's still in that vicinity. So we're going to start there. So you're going to add 5 drops. Make sure you shake all of these bottles very, very well before you add anything. Make sure everything's nice and stirred up, otherwise it might not read properly. Ooh, got a little overflow here. Let me pop that. All right. All right, so that's 5 drops. Next thing I'm going to do is my ammonia. There's 2 bottles for this. I'm going to add 8 drops of each. Give them both a nice, healthy shake. Like I said, you want to make sure everything's mixed up, nothing is sank in these chemicals so that they test properly. Alright, that's 8 from bottle 1. Give this one more shake in case anything started to settle. Alright, that'll be it for our ammonia. And again guys, I'm getting all of these ready and then I'm going to shake them up afterwards to kind of mix everything. So if you're watching for a color change, you're not really going to see that yet until I give them a nice good shake to mix everything up. So this is our nitrate. It's also 2 parts. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to do that last. Let's do our nitrite first. So you always want 0 nitrite. 0, 0, 0. Fastest thing that will kill your fish besides a pH sling, as I stated earlier. So we're going to add 5 of this one. All right. And now our nitrate test. And we're going to add 10 out of each bottle of this. One thing to note as well, guys, you don't really want to squeeze these bottles too much. I find if you just give them a little bit of light pressure, turn them upside down, especially once they're not 100% full, it's still going to come out. And the most important thing with that is you want even beads. So I just kind of let it fall out as it should. That way that we're getting even parts of each one. Alright, everything's set to go. Let's cap them off, shake them up so we can see the results, and then we're going to see if it's going to read high or read very significant in any faction. You're going to see that almost right away, but you always want to wait a couple of minutes afterwards. Let these stand for about maybe 3 to 5 minutes to have your results fully develop and be 100% accurate, as long as you did everything else and all the other steps right. Give these a really, really good shake. Okay, everything gets mixed up. Okay, as you can see, we are starting to get some results here. pH is looking good. Ammonia is looking pretty good. We'll see what happens when it develops. We'll go ahead and finish testing everything else. And we're going to let these stand, and then we're going to check back with these in a minute afterwards. Alright, so everything's nice and shook up. Alright, Now we're gonna let these stand and we're gonna check our results here in a minute, and it's gonna happen just like, and here we are. Okay, so it's been about 4 or 5 minutes, so it's probably developed enough to the point where the results are gonna be 100% accurate. Now for those of you that are familiar with API test kits, you can probably already tell me what's going on, but I'm gonna show you guys for those who are not familiar. So let's put a little white background here, give you guys a little bit better of a quick look. Alright, so first thing, our high range pH. So looks like we're a little higher than we want to be perhaps. I would call that right around 8, which that's okay, that's to be expected. This is going to balance out as the wood matures. Not a very big deal. These are all the fish so far, tank raised fish. Ideally I want to get it down a little bit more, but actually, you know what, on a second glance, let's see. You know what, maybe I have to do a low range pH test because it's not really reading it. So maybe it will. We'll revisit that in a minute. Let's worry about the more important portions of this. Not that pH isn't important, but right now we're more worried about our ammonia and our nitrates, all that. So ammonia, looking good. Looks like 0 to me, as you guys can see. So that's good. Nitrite, reading at 0, that's good. 0 ammonia, 0 nitrate, or 0 nitrite. And, well, I guess for all intents and purposes, it looks like 0 nitrite as well. Now, that's kind of to be expected. Maybe we'll call that a little bit more than 0. It's not quite 5 parts per million. That's to be expected though, because there are no fish in here currently. Looks like our cycle is pretty much there. So I think as a test, I'm going to catch my silver dollars out of my big boy cichlid tank. And then we're going to add those guys in. But I'm gonna wait one more day because I'm a very cautious person. I don't want to harm any of my fish. Absolutely not. Don't want anything awry. These things can happen in this hobby though, as you guys well know, for those of you that are keeping fish besides just following along. But we want to be as careful as possible. We want to provide the best home that we can for these fish. So I'm going to give it one more day and we're going to test again. I'll probably show you guys those test results. I'm probably not going to do a run through of it like I did just now. I think you guys get the idea when it comes to that, so we'll just show you the results next time tomorrow. But for now, we're gonna pause on putting fish in and give it one more day. And the reason I'm saying mostly that I'm gonna give it one more day, again, to be expected that there's really not any nitrate right now because there's only a few snails in here. They've been here since Saturday. But, you know, just because the snails are fine doesn't mean the fish will be fine. Snails, that's a whole different universe than dealing with the fish in terms of what may or may not kill them. We can get into that in another video if you guys would like. But for now, we're going to table the rest of this, and then we are going to put fish in tomorrow if it tests as good or better tomorrow. And by better, I mean maybe it might read a little bit of nitrate because I did dump all that mum in there. Maybe not. Probably not, because in all honesty, there was really nowhere for, nowhere, I say nowhere. It's probably not going to read anything because even though I put all this mum in here, as we are establishing our bacteria, so what happens is the mum is going to produce a little bit of ammonia, right? which is now 0. Okay, so once it produces that ammonia, let me put that back over here so you can see that, then that's going to get converted to nitrite. Now, if you don't have enough beneficial bacteria, it's going to stay as nitrite and not get converted into nitrate. However, I was saying that these conversions happen, right? So ammonia converted to nitrite converts to nitrate. So why are we reading 0 nitrates right now? And these two are reading 0, 0 as well. Well, that's just telling me our cycle is complete. I'm not reading any nitrate right now because there's no extra proteins or fish that are swimming here producing waste right now. It's just a cleanup crew in here. So keep that in mind, guys. And then our pH, which is not exactly affected by your nitrogen cycle. There's other outlying factors, but so we'll just call this here like this. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say 7.8. So that's okay. We're under 8. That's the important part there. But like I said, we're gonna give it one more day and be extra cautious with this, and then we're gonna start moving fish over here before the end of the week, hopefully. I am going to go ahead and dose with a little bit more prime. I'm not gonna dose with, I'm gonna go ahead and dose with a little bit more stability. I'm not gonna dose with any prime today because we are not reading any ammonia. Our nitrate's not reading, our nitrite, excuse me. I can't talk, you guys. But that's what's gonna go on here. So I'm just gonna give this a little bit more of a boost. So this will do, if I remember correctly, 20 gallons per capful. Yes, when you're doing a setup. So that's it. We'll do one more. And that's 5. That's a couple short of the full, but like I said, our cycle's almost there, so it doesn't need to do a full edition of that right now. So check back. Hopefully in the next clip in this video, you're gonna see some fish being caught and going into this tank very soon, guys. I promise. Very, very soon. For now, you'll just have to wait until the final edition of the Cube video comes out. So, and if you guys missed it, please go check out the live stream from this past Sunday. Thank you for those of you that joined. Shout out to Kason. Shout out to Smallfish16, Danny Aquatics. Shout out to Mike Loves Life Aquatics. I hope I got that right. I'm sorry, it's such a mouthful. I apologize for that. That without looking at it, I might have got it wrong. But anyways, guys, like I said, in the next video, you will see fish in this tank, and you will see how they got here. So stay tuned, and we're getting ready to order our fire eel for this tank. I can't be more excited, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am. So thank you guys, and stay tuned. Matty Fish out.